long rest after that encounter with the creatures of light, the voice of Aro dissipating into the evening, and we can kind of pick up with that next day, or rather that next order of time, as you all start to kind of come to. I need Constitution saving throws from everyone, please. This will include your sidekicks as well. Brennick says he really doesn't ever want to experience this.
For real?
I think every time I've rolled for him, I've rolled a nat 20. What is it? His is Dorian? Alrighty, so Galeria is Rashad's. That's that 9 there, right?
Yep. For Galeria.
Alright, and then Ben failed, and then Ged is Ben's, right? So that 16 is Ged's?
Yep.
It sucks for Ben to fail one, but that's a big one for Ged.
Yeah, I know he's gone like pretty close to bye-bye.
And then Brennick, and then Dorian. What was I moved Galeria.
At what point is trying to find a solution to this problem take over as our main quest?
I have been waiting for anybody to contemplate that. Because here's what I'm going to do. I just kind of finished like gathering everything up, so we'll have like an actual, I'm going to revamp these descriptions so you all have a new understanding of kind of where you're sitting. But I am really glad that you came up with that, because I have been wondering how far you all are going to let this go before you actually start to figure out what is happening and also have any clue as how you can stop it. So Brennick still looks completely normal. Galeria, basically her eyes are moving closer to each other, but still has kind of like a little bit of like the crest, the sagittal crest of your nose that kind of leads into her skull, kind of still has that like separating, like her eyes on her face. Fen, Valixis, and you guys don't know how she's doing. I guess I could have rolled still. Fen and Valixis, your eyes are so close that your nose is now below your actual like eye socket. Valixis, you're almost like pug-nosed at this point, where your snout is kind of starting to like move in towards your face. But basically, the two of you, your nose has dropped below your eyes because your eyes are starting to squish together. They would almost look like figure eights, where you're starting to struggle to see, like, are they connected to each other, or are they still separate eyes? Ged and Dorian at this point have a singular eye socket. Most of their skull is taken up by this eye, with very little kind of forehead left. They are basically like, what is it? Upper lip is like the lower third of your face is like your upper lip and below. Basically, they are like the mouth there, and then above that it's just an eye socket with a little bit of like the lid still there. They can blink and whatnot, but like they blink with like almost their skull at this point, kind of thing. Those two look like Nothics at this point. Some of their flesh is still normal, but like you can see, everybody is in some sort of progressive, this is like a spreading disease. You guys have vaguely started to understand. I think asking enough to recognize that it is the magic around this place that is causing it. You've seen everybody kind of going through this transition to recognize that, like, even though Brennick is not exhibiting symptoms, he still has to worry about it. And that's in the same way as, like, you know, Galeria is now at kind of like the first little bit of it. Most of you can recognize, like, there's a clear danger that you're doing permanent harm. In, like, you can kind of see what Ged and Dorian look like, and you've seen Nothics everywhere around this place. You saw them outside of it. You've seen them inside of it, following the floating skull. I think at this point, you guys should certainly have a solid reason for concern. So, with that kind of initial setup of where your bodies are physically right now, Fen, I definitely think that's an important question to ask the rest of the group. And that present, you know, we can treat it with the two of you. When it comes time to guess where Brannick would be, we can do so. Obviously, I feel like it was ignored enough that I don't know if there's a clear choice of where Justin would be on this.
Yeah, so like, is Ged acting normally, or is he mentally, and is he changing psychologically as well as physiologically?
So I've expanded this to try to represent a much longer progression of the disease. And in part, that's because the idea that we're adding all of these towers that add a little bit more complexity here. I think the game was pretty solid and happy originally with basically you come in here, all you have to do is walk around to the towers and you can go on from there. Um, in the original process, the physical change is immediately accompanied by, like, actual psychological issues. I would say Ged and Dorian might be starting to feel weird sensations. They might be having starting issues with kind of like paranoid delusions. But you guys have experienced those all throughout, like, the caves that you led here. So I'm not sure if they would feel a whole lot different here yet. Part of how I expanded it is I like the idea that the physicality was happening first. Effectively, when they fail beyond this, they're going to start to lose their mind on levels of one more fail, Ged becomes less and less yours. There's a whole other ladder coming, though, that is a lot of the clear mental things are happening, and you guys do not want to get there. And that's part of why I was trying to lead up to it with, like, right now the two of them look like Nothics, but they're still acting like your friends. The next effect is basically like their physiology is becoming more Nothic and less human, and now it's about to get to the brain, where the brain is going to, like, 1, 2, 3 steps to becoming a Nothic. So effectively, like, was it? I think each of you has 2 fails. Ged has 3. His next 3 are basically fighting for his mind. So that's a little foresight, like, too much information, but it's also meant because you guys need a lot more time to do what you're doing. And the question is do you try to solve this issue versus do you try to solve the more pressing issue at the cost of friends? As with a lot of things, there's almost never going to be a clear answer. I think part of the biggest things is always trying to decide which matters most.
Well, I'm sure Brannick, with his natural 20 saving throws, is like, yeah, let's keep going. But for those of us who have failed a couple times and worried about losing their humanity, for lack of a better word, I feel like we got to take this as our main priority. We're not going to make it out anyway, so what does it matter?
Valexius does not want to return to the upper world looking like an ice stalk. And honestly, I don't think Valexius thought too much about it until she like woke up and was just like rolled over and just saw that everybody basically had one eye socket now, and now she's just like, uh, is everyone okay? Your face is kind of it's doing a thing.
So, if you guys want to make this a priority, is your intention to leave this all behind? If you go to leave it all behind, Valixis knows Avarice is here. All of you have brought Valine here to know that there are other people who are currently going through this place.
How many of the towers do we still need to get?
That's one of the kind of vagaries here. Technically, you guys have gotten 4 of them. You've gone through 2 of the actual expanded towers.
Out of the 2 out of for the expanded towers, it's 2 out of what?
8. So, like, you either have 2 or 4 out of 8.
Yeah, we got the second, summon flame and palm in your hand. Fourth comes a secret from another. I didn't write the fifth one down, and I had fifth, but I didn't write it down for some reason. Not sure why I didn't. And seventh,
There
trace
should
the
not
circle.
be a. There shouldn't be a 5th. Oh! I got you. You know that you guys got the 5th.
Yeah, but I just I don't think I don't, wait. I know we got the fifth. Wait, is that plaque that I have on me, but it has writing on it, but we don't. The seventh one says, I know we got the seventh one says trace the circle with the ashes of the dead. Deviation tower says ask, and we that's not one of the ones. But the seventh, so we got second, fourth, fifth, and seventh. But out of the 2 expanded ones, I believe it was the fourth and the seventh that we did that were the expanded ones, or was it the second and fourth?
2nd and 4th.
Okay, I thought so because I had those 2 together. So second and fourth, and then the fifth and seventh we didn't go back to do those yet. So and so Valencia turns to Finn and asks, what should we do? We got 2 of them. We still got several more towers to go through. Assuming he brought this issue up to her.
Baku's running, so whatever we're going to do, we should get to it.
So then, does it sound correct that you guys are going to try to press forward, only try to increase the rate at which you accomplish these things?
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to increase the rate at which we clear these towers so that we can solve these 2 issues. But I know Felix just feels like it'll be an issue if we try to leave this area first to go handle this, as opposed to where if we were to go handle it afterwards.
So if you all are trying to accomplish these things faster, you've kind of done at least like another kind of half circle around Ythryn, and you're kind of on the north side. You are essentially northeast of the evocation tower or northwest of the illusion tower. Both of them are effectively equidistant from you.
Melissa's return to Finn. Okay, so we got 2 towers right here. Do you think we should both stick together to do one, or do you think we'd be able to handle it if we were to split up?
Let's stick together.
Alrighty. Shoot. But it seems like the illusionist tower would be closest for now. So let's head on over there and see where gather her things up and wake the rest of the party to go ahead and head on over and let them know what the plan is. And we're gonna go ahead and head over to the illusion tower. If you are speaking, there is nothing coming through.
Son of a bitch. When you guys approach the illusion tower, you've got like smoke and mist around it. It's all kind of glowing in like a purplish haze from the actual symbol of illusion, and it kind of lights much of this mist up. As you kind of approach to the lower side, the base of the tower, you can see hidden within the mist as it kind of clears in your approach. You can see that there is rubble, and it seems to block the entryway into the base of this tower.
Well, this is a bit of an issue. Are they like? Would they been rubble? Is it like large pieces of rubble, or basically does it look like something we could shift with our hands?
You could certainly take some time to clear the rubble. It would be the type of thing, all hands on deck. You could make pretty short work of it. Depending on how many people help, it may or may not take longer.
All right, so Alexis heads over to start. After saying this, she's kind of like crap. So she kind of heads over and starts shifting through, and she calls over to Gloria and Fred and everyone else. Look, I may need your help. I'm like 30 foot tall. I can't move this on my own. It'd be nice if I had like mold earth. I can just easily move it, but I don't. So we might have to work together to get through here.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
So let me get athletics checks from the two of you. So about a half hour, couple of y'all working together, kind of moving everything out of the way, but kind of focusing a little bit more on the actual path in to get to the doors. It doesn't take you all that long to clear through, where eventually you can get those doors separated, and you will see that there is kind of a dark hall in front of you. Effectively, this is still kind of covered in mist. You probably can't see a whole lot of everything, but it is the type of thing where you could make out at least the minor details of there's essentially a stage ahead of you, seating for about like 60 people kind of along the sides, and then there are a few oh man, I can't think what they're called, but the upper seats, like these kind of private seats that balcony seats that kind of flank each side. But effectively you guys can place yourselves towards the bottom here as you walk into this mist-filled room. So right now you've got Valixis coming in first. Is Fen right behind Valixis then?
Yes.
Gotcha. So as you guys kind of start to step into this room, you're going to hear kind of all around you panicked voices that seem to be kind of whispering to each other, and you almost gain a sensation like somebody's watching you and they're speaking about you. And then all of a sudden from the stage, you're going to start to hear like this loud kind of drum beat that starts to pick up at the like beat of a heart. And then you can kind of hear this loud boom, 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 as the rhythm of this heart starts to like pump through this room. And you can start to hear little bits of sobbing. And all around you, these voices, this gasping for air. And then
I already don't like this place. But Willis kind of like walks in, and so she's walking in. She walks in a little further, and she starts to inspect the room. Like she starts looking around, seeing all the empty seats, wondering and feeling. It's like, where did that feeling come from? It feels like there are people here watching us. And as she's doing that, she slowly continues to walk closer towards the stage.
Let's get about like halfway across the room. You'll start to see some figures through the mist. Sven basically following behind Velixis as she kind of stumbles forward.
Yeah.
So by the time you guys get about center room there, you'll notice that there's mannequins all across the stage. They're all just kind of like standing perfectly still. You can see some of them actually have their armatures like attached to them. Others are missing limbs and very clearly wouldn't be standing that way, like if a leg were missing. But as you kind of like approach, the mist just clears a little bit enough so you can see these mannequins on the stage.
Like walk up close towards the stage. She was just kind of inspect them. What do you? And she turned back to Finn. What do you suppose these this is about? What's all these mannequins here for? They couldn't have been the ones that spoke to us, could they? Or that was making all those whispers.
I'm sorry, I feel like I butchered that. I feel like you were supposed to experience that like walking up the stairs to get to here. I'm kind of confused. And you basically are walking past mannequins in just another hall. And then when you get to this room, you see like the plush purple seating. Can kind of smell the stage, almost like kind of molded and whatnot. I don't know if that serves any purpose. My bad, just ignore me here. Add in that there is like the actual purple lights that are already glowing into this room around you, instead of just being like dark in the mist. So maybe that shows you the mannequins a little bit sooner. But I feel like I'm just kind of confused. My apologies there, guys.
Oh, you good? You good?
I think it needs for the mannequins not to be here. So you would kind of have already walked around these. Um, so yeah, I think once you actually get to the stage, the lights would flicker. And in a brief moment, as they kind of come back on, you're going to see a man who's about 5.5, 6 feet tall, big flowing purple robes, and he's just kind of looking at you from maybe stage left. Shouldn't even give that cue. Let's go with the left side of the stage instead of saying the other thing. So he's just kind of like off to the left, and he's kind of looking at you guys from behind the curtains.
So upon noticing this man, Velicious will wave and ask, "Hey, do you live here? Do you stay in this tower?"
So you just picked up, what was it? One of yours allows you to read and write any language.
Yeah.
So this person is going to respond. Very quickly, you guys will come to recognize, as with pretty much everybody who speaks with you here, this person is speaking an Elvish dialect that effectively none of you understand. So you will either need to cast comprehend languages, or you can try to ritually cast it. But this person is already talking to you mile a minute.
Okay, then just
You can see like a bunch of like hand movements as they're talking very emphatically. A lot of like big movements, sweeping their body, kind of rotating their hips as they're talking.
Okay, so Felix is going to use a charge from the staff to cast comprehend languages, um, so that she can understand what the person is currently saying.
Gotcha. So you're gonna hear basically is this like rant that this person's going on kind of seamlessly transitions, and you hear, I did not survive Ythryn's fall, but alas, the show must go on. I am programmed to share information pertaining to the legacy of the Tower of Illusion, under the condition that my dying wish is met. I always aspired to be a great playwright, but my time never came. If you would indulge me, I would ask that you graciously perform a scene from my final work. In my personal quarters you will find the manuscript of the Nether Trolls. If you need costumes, I recommend commissioning them from the Hall of Silk, if it's still standing. Once you are ready to perform the scene, please call the curtains back, and I'll invite the audience in to spectate. They are hard to impress, but respond well to creativity.
So Felix was on the fan and basically explained to him everything that was just told to her about having to put a show on to get the information we need in regards to the Tower of Illusion and where to find this script.
Well, it's been many years since I have stepped on a stage, but would not be the first time. I'm game if you are.
Honestly, I've never been on stage, and as she just kind of turns back towards all the seasons, like, it's kind of like I feel kind of like I'm gonna bomb this, uh, but we do need that information. Uh, we let's grab the script and let's go grab the script and take a look. Hopefully, it's not too long. He did say a scene, so we might be able to get out of this. And she kind of heads off toward. Are there any doors that she noticed was for the office that he was referring to?
I think that's where having the staircase back outside, you're basically looking at like stepping back out of the theater and returning to the staircase.
Oh, okay, okay. So they would head back out and head up the staircase to the office room to grab the script um, for the play. And after going over the script and everything, just determined like, wait a minute. He said if we needed costumes, we could go to a Hall of Silk. Did you see any place that might have costumes in it? Or is it here? I hope it's not another building.
I think we can get away with saying that the silk, can't remember the exact name of the place, it was silk something, is no longer standing, so we'll have to forego the costumes.
You guys have heard of the Hall of Silk already.
I don't remember that.
So let me have either of you roll an intelligence here. Both of you. I think you all know that the Hall of Silk is next to the bazaar. I feel like you got that information when you were talking to... I feel like that was one of the guys in the tower at the conjugation tower. But you guys have not actually located the actual House of Silk yet.
That might be that. You know what? That probably be why, because we heard of it, but we didn't. I think that's not one of the ones we went to go explore. Because I think we opted to go towards a different area, which is probably why we didn't remember it. Didn't backtrack for it. So upon remembering this, we should probably head over there to see if we can get some costumes. We should probably locate this and go get us some costumes. It'll probably help with this, especially if our acting is poor or poorly in taste.
We have to get and look over the script first, right?
Yeah, but we have this. Yeah, we have the script. We gotta.
No, you don't.
Yeah. So we
Just
need
because you narrate something, Rashad, does not mean that you get it. That's part of why I was saying sometimes you need to do something and then stop, because you never let me say anything about the script.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. My bad.
You cannot just narrate, we're gonna go pick up the script. This place is hell. Every single time you guys have tried to do anything, something bad has happened.
It really has.
Which is even more reason that you do not get to narrate, that you just go and pick it up.
so I guess first order of business would be going to get the script and look at it.
Agreed.
Alrighty. When you climb up, like rows and rows of these actual stairs, you're eventually going to come to, I think from this side, it would read, at very least Velixis could see at this point, that the door actually reads, was it High Illusionist Anjamar's quarters? And when you all approach the actual door to open it, you will see before you a kind of like green room style of seating, like an actual like table set up where you could like sit to eat. There's a like plush chair to sit before mirrors and do makeup. There's a few kind of like scattered robes and things around this actual room, a chest and a chair.
Well,
And actually, there is a corpse in a purple robe, like slumped into the chair.
Malicious would look at the chest and just flash back to being eaten. Not gonna fuck with that. And she looks at the corpse and she goes over to inspects the corpse and the purple robe that it has.
What are you inspecting them for?
She when she sees the corpse and the robe, she thinks back to the guy that was downstairs. Who said he survived, and she realized the purple robe that he was wearing. She wants to see if they're the same clothing.
Yep, no need to roll. If you're looking to see if that's that person, this is indeed. This is the same robe that you saw of that person downstairs.
All right. And she kind of like, all right, we're about to put on a show for a dead guy. Got it. So where's that script at? And she kind of just looks around the room.
So if you're looking around the room for papers, you can roll a perception check. Does Fen join in? So there's a couple of papers
so,
on.
I'm sorry. Fen will join in. I jumped in.
Gotcha. You can roll as well. There's a couple of papers around the area. One of them is on a little desk that is right next to the actual slumped over corpse. There's some blank paper on the actual like larger table. But with a nat 20 from Fen there, I think Fen can immediately recognize that the actual corpse was like, this person was writing these when he seems to have like died in this tower. But they're just sitting right next to the actual like plush chair there, and you all can see inside of Discord. You guys should be able to see the actual play there. Then there are two other papers kind of mixed up in that little pile there. When you go through them, there are 4 copies of the play, and then there is a separate piece of parchment behind those 4. And then just below that parchment is a small little silk bag that's kind of sitting beneath those papers.
And does that contain the other scenes to the play?
No, I think the implication that this is all that's written of the play.
Okay. So it's just this one scene.
Yeah. Or maybe the implication is this is the scene you are meant to do, and there are 4 copies of the play. But I would say let's just call it this is all that there is of the play is the one scene.
Okay, that's what I figured. So we need 3 people.
So after going over the thing, over the scene, I'm like, all right, which roles do you want?
If you guys want to do this another time, like when Justin's here and you've got 3 people, you guys can go ahead with the fact that you now know how many things you need to find and just kind of progress forward to other tasks. And then that way, when you actually find the Hall of Silk, you could find those costumes and come back to this.
I am all right. I'm all right with that. 'Cause this we do need 3. We need 3 people. So I'm okay with that either way. What about you?
Okay, yeah, let's take what we know about this one and head on to the next one. And about this time, we should start keeping an eye out for Valine too, just in case she's got some info that we could trade.
When you say when you say this to Melissa, she kind of just stops and stands, staring at the ground for a minute, and she just says, "Yeah, we." I think it is the time that we do keep an eye out for her. Who knows when we'll run into her again? And she kind of just like walk past you without making eye contact.
So
I
if
guess
you head out,
we're gonna exit and head for the next tower.
if you head out of the illusion tower, evocation is off to the west, and transmutation is off to the east.
Let's do the transmutation. And the okay, yeah, the opposite direction is the Silk House, right? By the
Was
bazaar.
the
You
what?
said? The Silk House was by the bazaar. You said?
Yeah, I believe that's pretty much the clue that you guys had of that location. Um, yeah, I feel like you guys, I can't even remember what it was. I would have to look back in my notes, but that's kind of a minor thing of how it was said. Um, and I've failed to record 2 of these sessions. The last 2, I'm not sure if it was in one of those, so I can't even listen to the hard copy. But I'm pretty sure you guys were exploring around there. It was before that Lich battle. You guys were exploring, and you, I feel like, heard about those 2 locations. I feel like it was right after you left the library when you saw the penguin thing and the fox thing. Um, and I just think the bazaar is what caught your attention, so that's what you explored.
Well, what do you think about going to check out the Silk House?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part. You said you're going to check out the what?
The Silk House.
I think it's enough to say, though, that if you guys actually went there with the intention, I think you could find it. I think, did I already put that to an intelligence? Was that 20 intelligence for thinking about that? I feel like that's enough to recognize when you guys were looking around there. There was one place that was in that area that had like robes and things like adorning its windows. I think it would be enough for you guys to recognize the south. It's technically the eastern side of that little egg was the Silk House.
Yeah, we can definitely go ahead and find that silk house. Should we stop at the at one of the towers to try to get the information from there along the way? It'd be kind of it'd be kind of what now it'd be kind of a little bit of waste of time to just walk by the tower to go find the silk house and just to come back this way. I mean, either way, we're gonna have to get the tower done. Just so, what do you suggest we do?
Yeah, if it's on the way, let's just head out in that direction, and then we'll do the tower first.
Okay, so it was quite bizarre. So we go back down this way. It'd be a little bit too long. The way be a little longer. We would have to go. Do you think going past the evocation tower or past the transportation tower would be quickest?
I think evocation, right?
Okay, I was thinking that too. That definitely seems the best, like the quickest route. Alrighty. So I have to make a decision. So whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and head out.
Let me have the 2 of you roll d6s. So while you all are walking between the illusion tower and the evocation tower, there is going to be a point where you hear kind of like a almost like a whirling noise, kind of like high winds off to the east. And from just beyond the evocation tower, there are going to be um, 2 like wisps of air that out of nowhere are going to kind of whirl past you. And I need you guys to roll for initiative. Actually, no reason to throw that up there. I'm not going to put you on a board.
If anyone's speaking,
No, I wasn't. So it is going to start off with one of these, as it is going to fly by. It's going to strike out at Valixis. And it should hit you. It's gonna do 29 points of force damage to you. And it is going to move you kind of 5 feet backward. And this thing is just going to keep moving past you, out and away. It does not provoke opportunity attacks. About your only experience is like you hear this wind is like flying by you. You are getting like slapped as you see just these like little filaments of light in front of you. Roll a perception check for me, both of you actually. Yeah, so Fen, you can see kind of like these like filaments of light are almost like the lifelines on a palm. You're seeing kind of outlines of a hand. Velixis, you got the shit slapped out of you basically and kind of thrown backwards. Other than seeing that like this wind had light, you don't yet kind of have like a sense of what happened to you. But Velixis, it is on you. What would you like to do?
She Melissa just kind of like rubs her face, like, what the heck? And she kind of looks back, and she's not sure what to do with that. She just essentially just feels like just feels she has no idea how to feel about that. I just got slapped by wind. That's new, and that's it. And she has no idea how to feel about that or what to do about that.
So are you gonna like even take the dodge action? Are
Oh yeah,
you just stunned like no turn?
I'm gonna take the dodge action for the next in case it and prepare myself in case it happens again. And so I'm definitely gonna take that dodge action. But yeah, otherwise she's definitely just like, what the fuck?
Any movement at all from you? Or you're basically just kind of staying close to everybody?
I'm gonna take shelter behind any stone or anything nearby that I can take shelter behind to avoid getting hit again.
Roll a perception. You can find some stone probably about like 15, 20 feet to the east of everybody else.
She dodges and hides behind that. Just kind of like keeping the eye out for anything else that may come her way.
So you are going for that stone?
Yes.
And what is Galeria doing?
Deliria is going to try and stay close to everyone else. Yeah, she's going to stay close to everyone else.
Gotcha. Is she doing anything? Attacking? Holding an action? Dodging?
She is going to hold an action for an attack, triggering basically the moment she gets attacked by anything. She's going to basically swing back at it. Otherwise, she is going to brace herself for the next attack and prep another attack.
So if Galeria gets attacked, she will swing at it.
Yes.
Something's going to attack her. So you can make an attack at one of these fists that's going to fly up. Can you make her attack?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think I can do it on the sheets. I'm gonna just roll a d20 for the attack.
That should hit. She's got a +6.
Alrighty, I'm gonna roll for that. Dug up the roll for that damage.
She does not have a D20 as a damage die.
Yeah, I was looking for it on here. I don't see it.
Are you looking at just the card like I sent you on Discord? Does she not have a character in here?
I know that Ged does not.
Yeah, I think I just switched them to cards so you can use them just as their actual dice, but the cards are pretty clear. So,
Oh, okay. Let me see. I think I clicked on the wrong thing then.
what were you looking at?
I clicked on her under allies.
Yeah, they do not have character sheets in there. What do you even have for Ged? Do you even have anything? Looking
I
over
never
our
did.
message.
I never did. We said we set them up, but I never got like a player card or anything.
What was he supposed to be?
I think just general melee.
Like a fighter?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's weird because I remember her having her thing in here. And I remember just click on it and just clicking the attack thing and it would roll it. But I'm not sure.
Multiple guys ago. Part of the reason why I stopped doing it is because we had like flow through multiple guys. It's a whole lot of work versus like I've got the actual cards and I have it all posted like in Discord, but I'll grab the actual stuff for you. She was supposed to be a cleric.
Yeah, there it is. It was the D8. Okay, yeah, I found her card. I'm gonna go ahead and just save this right here.
D8, what's her plus damage?
+4. So 1d8 +4.
Gotcha. So she can swing back at it, dealing about 10 damage to it. It is going to kind of fly up to her and grasp at her. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw with her. Oh, I did not need to click that, my bad. So it's going to like start to pick her up and lose a hold of her as it kind of flies by and starts to like lift up some, and is going to fail to grapple her. And that will take us to Fen.
So I guess Fen is going to hold his action to attack anything he can see.
Gotcha. So these things have cleared you guys like like swing past you. You're definitely fast enough with Fen that you could move up on the one that just like zipped by and actually hit it.
Okay, well that's what I'm gonna do then.
It's like they can break combat and not take an opportunity attack, but they're not the type of thing that you guys like have nothing to do against these things. So just do a perception for me real quick, Fen. Yeah, so you've got a solid sight on that first one that like punched into Velixis. You basically have to probably move up to it like It's probably about 20-25 feet to get to it.
I'll cross that distance and do my standard attacks with the longsword. And I'll follow with two unarmed strikes.
Any key expenditure on any of these attacks?
No.
Gotcha. So as you're swinging out at this thing, your sword just kind of like passes through it at first. You kind of punch for it, and you can't tell whether you're like passing through or whether this thing is moving so fast that it's just keeping outside of your reach. But you do feel that all of those attacks are going to miss. So then Ged is behind you. Galeria is with Ged, and you've basically now made a triangle where you've got Fen kind of like south of the group, Valix is kind of east. What is Ged doing?
I guess he would move up and attack the closest one.
Gotcha. So he'd basically be moving back to back up Fen at that point. The one that is closest to him is basically like vertical in the air right now.
Okay, yeah, do back up Fen and attack that one.
Solid hit with the attack.
And that'll be the damage.
Yeah, I think we worked it so they've got extra attack after 5, so you can do another attack, and if it hits, roll the damage again. You don't have to add in those pluses, though, if you guys know the pluses. Like, he's 6'2", so you just have a +6 on your d20, and then you've got the +2 on your 2d8. And then for Rashad, you're a +6, +4. That one's going to miss.
And that'll so he's the 5th level. I forgot to ask you, 5th level.
They're basically always one level below you, so they're technically 8th level.
Okay, because there's one bonus that kicks in at 7th level.
Yeah, exactly. They should be the full character at this point.
Okay.
All right, the last one here. I guess these two effectively are on the same turn now. Was it? One's gonna go for Ged. One's gonna go for Valixis. Can I get a dexterity saving throw from Ged? And then this one's gonna punch Valixis. 16 hit you, Valixis?
Yep. Right in the jaw.
And it's gonna do another 23 force damage to you. And this time, like, while you're cowering behind that rock, there's just going to be like a wisp of air. And then you're going to feel as everything kind of goes still. And if you were to look up, you would basically see like fingers kind of stretching out from a closed fist. And then just like palm coming right down on your head, as if a giant were like swatting at an ant. You're just getting smushed right into the ground. And then the other one is going to grapple Ged and basically start to fly vertically with Ged. It'll probably get about 20 feet in the air. Nope, it's ground level. My bad. No, my bad. I have to change it. It's grappling Ged. It is the one that you guys have already struck at. That is right next to. It has to close that distance. So it's the one that was next to Galeria is going to fly up to Ged, and it is going to drag him vertically. No, I had it right the first time. Son of a bitch. It's the one that Fen and Ged were attacking is going to pick up Ged. The third one to fly in is the one that's swatting at Velixis there. And then it's going to Velixis. There's one above Galeria, and then there's one carrying Ged vertical into the air, and obviously the one that kind of has just hit you.
Alright, from my position, I'm going to cast Fireball to get as many of the hands into the fireball as possible.
Roll an intelligence check. You could hit the one next to yourself and Galeria. You could hit those two. Otherwise, the one that is currently dragging Ged into the air is probably a little bit too far to hit. You could try to see if you could get two, but it's more than likely you're going to get one if you go for that one.
All right. The Velixis is going to. She's going to go for the one that's flying off then because she doesn't want to hit her allies with the fireball.
You don't hurt your allies, though.
That's right. That's right. All right. Going back with the original plan, I'm going to go ahead and place it where I need to place it.
Where is that?
Oh, sorry. I'm placing it like centered right on me.
It's a 15-foot radius.
Yeah, it is. No, yeah, 20-foot radius. It says 20-foot radius.
And you're going to center it on yourself.
Yes.
All right, I don't want this to be trickery because it's theater of the mind, but do you recognize that centered on yourself is not the original thing that you said? You originally said you wanted to hit multiple guys. Never was centered on yourself brought up until you decided to do it.
No, I did not realize because I was saying I said something on myself, but I was still thinking about hitting multiple guys, and I realized, yeah, I did say I want to hit multiple guys.
So are you trying to hit the one that is above Galeria and the one that is attacking you?
Yes.
All right. So that is between you and Galeria, up in the sky. But you can do that. Roll your damage.
Someone didn't take all the damage they needed. 19.
So you will see as both of those hands kind of like have fire moving between their actual light that kind of outlines the hands. And then there is a certain level of like you can kind of see the light dimmed, but there's definitely a certain understanding that the fire was passing through as much as it was affecting the actual light of these creatures. or these things, what would Galeria like to do? And I'm assuming Velixis at least like stood up basically. Like, are you moving at all with her?
Yes, I am going to go ahead and stand up with her. Try to get back up on her feet.
Gotcha, my bad. She didn't actually go down like prone or anything. I meant more like along lines. Are you moving with her?
Yeah, she's actually going to go ahead and try to move closer back towards her allies.
Gotcha. So Galeria is about 20 feet to the east of you, or to the west of you. Fen's probably about 20, 25 feet to like the southwest of you. And Get is up in the air.
So she's going to place herself between Galeria and Finn.
Alrighty. And then that will take us to the one over Galeria. Is going to fly past Galeria and Velixis. And it is going to. Fen is unarmored. It's going to smash down on top of Fen. 21 should hit you even with your AC boost.
Yeah, 21 just on the nose.
And then it's going to do 30 force damage to you as it slams down. So your normal AC right now is up to 19. I feel like I missed that.
Yeah, normal AC is 19, 21 with the agile parry. Somebody's talking. I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, man. I asked you a question, so I probably was not being heard when I asked it. So did you get that damage from the one that struck out at you, Fen?
Yeah.
Like it's a 30 force? All right.
Yep.
So that one is smacking down into you, and then it's rising about 20 feet above you. It's going to be your turn. About twice as far as that one is high, there's another one that has Get up above you. So two of these hands are directly above you, 20 and 40 feet into the air. And then back where Velixis was, about 5 feet closer to you, is one of these creatures that kind of flew past her when it was attacking her. That is the only one that is out on ground level right now. But you've got two above you and one right where Velixis is running from. What would Fen like to do?
Fen will close the distance to the one nearest Felixus from the ground that he can reach and stand attack.
Gotcha. You can roll those. Solid crit there. Seems like low damage though. Yeah, one on that. So what is that? 11, 17 damage. The first attack's going to miss. That third unarmed strike, this is that same feeling of you're like punching as this thing's like moving faster than you can like get to it. And you're getting to it this time. 20 is these things' ACs. These things are difficult to hit. But solid double strike there for another 17 on that one. Ged is being lifted into the air. He is effectively grappled, but you can still make attacks there. Although on the start of your turn, you're going to take crush damage with Ged. It'll do. Oh wait, this is a saving throw for him. Do a Constitution saving throw, and it is DC 15. I think he's got +6 on his con save.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not necessarily a +6. It's going to be whatever. What's your proficiency bonus on your characters? Are you guys at +4 right now or +5?
Yeah, I got a +4 for my proficiency.
Yeah, so his should be a +4 right now. So that'll be a 12. It will fail. Ged will lose 1 hit point there. Basically, that just means he's got 7 more. They have 1 hit die for each level they are, and they're 1 level lower than you. So right now, Ged just has 7 left. But he'll lose that one as he's kind of crushed down on. What would you like to do with him?
And if I break the grapple, he's going to fall 20 feet.
You are indeed. But you also might have a solid understanding that something that can pick you up with ease might be flying you up higher to drop you.
Yeah, so I'm going to attempt to break the grapple.
Gotcha. So he's got athletics, I believe. Just roll the d20, and then he'll get his athletics.
Oh, shit.
So his sword attack is a +2, so that means he's got +2 strength, +4 for your proficiency, so +6. It's still a 10. So he's going to remain grappled there. And then we're going for the 2 in a row. Doing a Velixis and a Get again. Yeah, so I think Ged's is going up to 100 feet and just free falling. It's going to drop him. So Ged will hit effectively at the end of this turn. I think that's just going to be 10d6. So his con save is going to be, what is that? 3 per, 3.5 per. 35, unsavable. Yeah, he's just going to take a wound as he slams into the ground. He'll be down to 6. Otherwise, 6 saves. That's one of the things I feel like it's unclear with these guys. 6 saves at a 6+. I think 1 that's auto is better. Yeah. And then the one that's going to strike into Velixis. I think it's just going to Velixis. Are you looking bloodied right now?
I am.
Are you mortally wounded?
Yeah, I got 19 health now.
All right, so still looking bloodied. I think it's just going to try to smack down on you one more time. 17 hits.
Yes.
And it's going to do 22. So that should drop you unconscious.
Yep.
What would you like to do with Galeria?
I believe Gloria is actually going to run over and attack the one that just hit Alexis while it's still there. So yeah, she's gonna make her way over there to do an attack on it. Wait, I rolled damage first.
I need a d20 from you.
Ooh.
15's going to miss. Alright, this one was already kind of above you all. I think it's going to be rushing down. This is actually going to grapple Velixis. and it's going to fly up 40 feet. And then it's going to go to Fen. You've got one on the ground that just struck Velixis, one that just pulled Velixis up 40 feet, and then one that is right next to where Ged started before he plummeted. So right now, I think they're all basically up in the air, except for the one that just punched Velixis.
Okay, so Ben is going to move over to the one on the the one that punched Felixus, I guess, and out of text.
All right, so with that one, the longsword strike is going to kind of cut through the actual lines as you strike into this thing. With your actual like first punch, big ol' whiff. Second punch, it's that same thing where it feels like it's just out of reach, and you're just kind of coming like so close to it, but feel nothing as it just goes by. And then Ged is now prone on the ground. What would he like to do?
He's going to use half his movement and stand up.
Yeah, pretty much right in that space where most of you all are at this point. So he doesn't really need much movement to get towards the one that's on the ground.
So he'll move over and he is going to bonus action use his challenge. So yeah, he's going to use his 5th level bonus action challenge on it. And I will attack also. That's
Roll a second one for extra attack. All right, so this is that same one. It is going to immediately break the challenge, so you can make 2 more attacks with Ged. And it is going to strike out at Fen, at which it should hit, and it should do 24 force damage to Fen.
24 force damage.
Yeah, and that is another 14 damage from. Oh wait, those are the D20. So one. No, my bad. Those are both going to miss.
And I'm sorry, you said 24 damage?
Yeah, 24 force. Yep. Oh, I keep forgetting it can also move you guys. But yeah, it'll kind of smack down on Fen. And then this next one.
And it's now bloodied, by the way.
Yeah, I think this next one's just going to piggyback Velixis up even further into the sky, kind of taking Velixis from the previous one as it flies her even higher. Get you up to that like 60-foot mark. So Velixis, can you set yourself to whisper and roll a death saving throw? Or set yourself to whisper and roll the d20. Any non-whispered roll will not count.
Need me to whisper a roll for a knockout?
If I need a death saving throw from Velixis. If it's not whispered, it's not going to count.
All right, give me 1 second.
Are you there? Have you rolled one?
Yeah, I'm rolling. It's should have popped up.
All right, it just came through. And then what is Galeria doing? Right now, you've got the two of these things kind of juggling Velixis overhead, and then you've got Fen and Ged kind of attacking the one that like just punched Velixis on the ground.
I think Galeria's going to attack the one that's on the ground to try to either damage it more or try to quickly finish, so we can quickly finish this one off.
Gotcha. Go for that attack. Will be a solid hit. D8 plus 4. 5 more. Let's see. The one 40 feet above is going to fly down, and it is going to strike out at Fen and just kind of splash into the ground. Let's see. I think it's going to go basically 20 or so feet to the like west of you guys. So you guys will have two on the ground right now. And it will go to Fen.
Fen is going to get to the whichever one looks the most wounded.
You could do an Arcana check to really see, but if you do an Arcana right now, that's if you do an Arcana check, I need it to be actual action economy. Otherwise, you're kind of looking at these things. You've been fighting all of these. At this point, you guys are looking at like outlines of light. It's more likely fighting these things that you're just going at it blind. I don't think you want to give up action economy to find out which one is more wounded.
No,
So I'm
sorry.
going to assume you did not roll that.
I was a little quick on the jump there. I wasn't listening for the full complete instructions. Typical male. Yeah. Oh, what was that last part? Yeah, so I'm just going to do my normal attacks to the closest one.
Gotcha. So yeah, the two of you have been fighting. I feel like it's the one that comes right after you. Solid strike with that one.
Okay, so that one hits. I'm going to add a death strike to that.
Gotcha. That's an extra D8.
I think it's D6 here.
Gotcha. That sounds right. Maybe it's the D8 for the bow.
Yeah, well, it's martial arts die, which is still D6. I think.
Oh, yeah. That's what psychs me out. I keep thinking your die is higher, but it's like early teens.
Yeah, so that's
Gotcha. So that first one's definitely a solid strike for 17.
14. No, oh yeah, you're right, 17. And I'll use flurry of blows for 2 more unarmed strikes.
Gotcha. So as you like cut across this and then start to actually punch into this creature, you're going to start to actually like start pulling away these like figments of light, almost like wrapped around your flesh as the magic starts to give way, and these little lines like drape across you before they too kind of disintegrate, and the little bits of light kind of flicker out. That creature will die.
A couple decent rolls. And then Ged,
he could cover the distance to the other one that you were looking at. It's a little bit further away, about 20 feet from you, but he can still cover that distance here and make 2 attacks.
Yeah, so he's going to cover the distance, and he's going to use the bonus action challenge again, and then attack twice.
First one will hit, second one will miss.
So that's 2d8 plus 2. 16.
So as Ged runs down that one with 2 slashes from his great sword, a very similar thing is going to happen as he kind of cuts through where the flesh would be. There's a point where like the almost like filaments of this creature starts to get stuck up, and the actual physicality of the blade is pulling away these little strands of light. Before, as he's like drawing his sword away the last time, the light dissipates itself and there's nothing left of this creature. Assuming that he can make those attacks, this is one of those things where in the long run you don't have to do the challenge until after you've attacked. There's not like an order of operations. So I feel like it's a little safer to say you don't have to use the thing that has a limited use.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, technically, it is a bonus action. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just weird because I like attacks to be like defined ahead of time. So like on some level you do have to kind of decide like whether you want to flurry of blows ahead of time. And those things I kind of bulk together, but it's just kind of like a weird little blend. Maybe that's something to do to actually separate the choice of your bonus. I'll have to think about how that plays out. But I feel like that's got some solid validity. That maybe you can like make your initial 2 strikes your sword, then you're unarmored, and then maybe give you a chance to assess the creature before you have to choose your bonus action. I feel like there's grounds for each way of that happening.
No, I think
Um,
your way is solid strategy. I don't think I'm used to playing the character, so like that's one of those things that you normally would do, like just in case.
and that's part of why I feel like it plays out better. Is I feel like it feels really, really meta to let somebody with like, once a fighter gets up there, and monks, monks definitely go the opposite way. They start with a lot of attacks, and everybody catches up to you. But I feel like it's one of those weird things of having a lot of attacks. Like it's a lot of extra information versus, so it's weird to balance. Um, but if it works for you, then I'm definitely happy because that's what I'm hoping to make it best for. This next one I think is striking out at Ged. Yeah, strike out at Ged. He's a picker upper in his heavy armor. Oh, that's just a dexterity saving throw for him. Oh wait, no, my bad. This is the last one. This one's holding Velixis. It's gonna go to 100 feet and drop Velixis's corpse. And it's gonna fly down 20 more feet, so it'll be at 80 feet above you guys. And it's gonna go to your turn, Velixis. There theoretically shouldn't be a reason why I've got to force this to be a whisper, but I think have you whisper again. Excellent. And yeah, so when Velixis slams into the ground, you're going to lose another death saving throw. You've got that rolled, and we're going to go to Galeria. What is Galeria going to do as Velixis is taken up to like the ceiling of this place? And you just see in a moment where she kind of pauses her movement, and her body is just like haphazardly like floating towards the ground before you hear this dead, uh, dull thud and see no movement from Velixis. What is Galeria thinking?
Clear is like, oh, I just lost my friend. My friend, and she kind of runs over to she goes over to Velixis, and she stands in front of her, preparing another attack for when the hand flies back down again. Because she assumes it's going to probably try to go for her again.
Gotcha. So if the hand gets close enough to you, you are going to strike at it.
Most definitely.
And then Fen, what would you like to do?
I guess then we'll take the dodge action.
Gotcha. And what is Ged doing?
He will also take the dodge action.
Alrighty. I don't know if there is a solid way to say this, but I feel like you guys should have healed Velixis here. There's a lot of reasons why she should have not been put into this position. But that hand is going to come down and slam into Velixis. You can make a attack with Galeria. The hand is going to hit Velixis, and Velixis is dead.
Yeah, I realized I fucked up after I did that situation.
Yeah,
Galeria.
to be honest with you, once Galeria was up, who was a cleric, I kind of spaced out. I wasn't paying attention. You didn't heal her?
She doesn't technically have just free healing on that cleric. It's like an actual battle cleric. Probably the biggest thing that I was thinking is that you guys got potions from Anastasia last week. So we are going to stop right now. Let's take a break here. This is going to be one of those things where Rashad, this is the final death of Velixis. We're not going to see how far different things can go here. I feel like she's been given her chances. And she has been found wanting. You don't have... What's that?
This is her third death, ain't it?
I feel like that sounds about right. She's been given plenty of chances to not die whilst dying. And the eyeball thing, I feel like, was a solid final end to a character. But I'm going to say that this is definitely the final end. So I hope that sits well enough for you. I am not going to offer you any other deals that get her out by selling her soul to another devil. I feel like on some end, I'll probably write like a little thing to do for you as you actually find yourself in Levistus's presence. I think that'll happen sometime in the future here. But yeah, I would say if you're cool for it during the break, create a character of Galeria and actually turn her into a level 9 cleric. Otherwise, you can use Galeria. I feel like to the end of the session, we could probably get by. But in the long run, I feel like if you need character creation time, try to get somebody fleshed out so we can play in 15 minutes or so. So I think we pretty much had that all going down with you all, probably within like 50 or 100 feet of the evocation tower. You have the tower ahead of you. This is another one of them where it has kind of like a open base, and this is where the pillars were kind of all around you. But you're basically like walking in and under this loop, and you've got an entryway. What I think on like the main side of the tower, like kind of south. Are you guys still heading to the evocation tower? Are you taking Galeria or Velixis's body, or are you waiting at that point where everything kind of happened?
So I'm assuming the hands have disappeared now.
I mean, you guys killed 2 of them. Yeah, you basically ended that last one. Once I killed Velixis, that thing was either running away or getting killed by you guys. But yeah, we don't have to like continue on with that.
So yeah, no, but they're gonna pick up. Felix is gonna probably. Gloria is gonna grab Felix's body and eventually. She does take Felix, with her.
I can barely hear you, Rashad.
Yeah, did you like step away from your mic?
Oh no, I'm right here.
That's better.
So
It might be super sensitive, but there is a huge difference between those two.
oh no, so Valeria is going to take Felix's body. What she's going to do is she's taking her spell books because out of her bag, of Christmas in her bag. Um, she's gonna, and she is gonna take her body with her. Um, until either she wants to bury her body to like,
All right, hold up. I feel like this is your voice getting worse over time again. So I've got you were planning on taking like her spell books and the books out of her bag, and that you want to bear her body with you guys. But I did not hear anything that you said after that.
oh, she wants to bury her body in the grove where the trees are.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
So on some level, vacation is at least you've already started to round the corner to where you can again see like the arbitorium like way off on the edge of the city here, the city like plain. Um it's much further than where like the necromancy tower collapsed and where you guys had spotted the bazaar and vaguely know where the silks is. So if you skip over the evocation tower, you can continue on towards the silks or towards the arbitorium to bury her body, but you are at present essentially at the evocation tower.
Well, in honor of our fallen comrade, why don't we bury her? We can hit the still call since it's close, and then go on to a tower.
Gloria would agree with this.
So to understand, you're going straight for the grove.
Yeah, we'll do the little burial ceremony.
Gotcha. Let me have the two of you roll d4s. Yeah, so you guys can pass through pretty similar areas here. You will pass underneath.
Be caught off at underneath.
We're gonna have you guys pass like near where you passed before. I have a feeling I haven't like explicitly prepared the necromancy tower to like know all the story, but I have a feeling that they decided not to knock it down here in the upgraded stuff. Maybe I'll describe everything on the side when we get there. But you're basically passing through areas where you guys have been already, passing by the actual school and that like large not arbitorium, large like gymnasiums kind of set up where they had the actual central little dais that was teaching little cantrips. You can pass by the conjugation tower, pass by the library, and make that beeline. It's probably about like 20 or so minutes like of that walk basically between evocation and there, but otherwise you don't really see much of anything going on around you all. Perhaps a little bit more hyper aware with the actual hands now, but it doesn't appear to be anything. But you can cover over to there. Um, if you had to dig, I feel like you guys have like sticks and kind of swords or daggers. But you could take some time to dig a hole as a group. Are you going for the central tree, the actual nether tree, the nether oak? Now you're kind of cutting out. Was that a share from Don?
Yeah, we'll ask the father tree to watch over her. She had a troubled life. And
Oh, sorry, I very weirdly skipped over the actual Velixis thing here. Galeria is not going to be able to take anything from Velixis. When Velixis dies, Velixis is going to freeze into a block of ice. She is once again like consumed inside of like a probably like what she's like 3 feet tall, so probably almost like 5 foot by 5 foot cube of ice.
well, can't really bury a 5 by 5 cube of ice.
Damn.
Well,
So you can move her without much difficulty. But the question is with me messing that up, like, do you guys actually want to move her? Are you leaving her? This is, again, like back outside of the evocation tower. She is like basically entombed in ice. And this will be something that you all will notice. Like, I think you've already done this before, but magical fire does not melt this ice. I don't think anything seems to melt it if you try.
of Alexis, it appears that you are the cautionary tale. I don't think there's much to do with it.
I mean, Gloria really doesn't want to leave her here, but we can't move her. I mean, if we do, it'll definitely take a long time. She's already frozen. Her body will.
Moving her isn't especially difficult. Pushing like a giant cube of ice is perfectly easy. It's got a or a low friction coefficient.
Yeah, but
Not that that's not going to be problematic.
yeah, I mean, burying a 5 by 5 cube is a lot different than burying a small corpse.
Yeah, burying her might be a completely different story, but that's where I think like you should recognize the difference with any characters who are going to be making this choice. The idea is we're in a glacier. She's basically a tiny little glacier. It feels weird to leave her here, but where would you actually take her? Does that actually change anything?
No.
Yeah, Gloria's noticing that she's like, we can't really take her outside. Once we get over to we can't carry her back up out of here, and the only other place that we can bury her is the grove. But that would take some time to dig a 5 by 5 foot hole. So she would opt to reluctantly, grievously opt to just place her against the tower here and leave her body and leave her there.
So you'll like slide it up to the actual evocation tower. If it's like inside of like an arch, so I've been failing so hard at explaining how I think these arches work, but it's basically like the main foot of this place is like then arched over into a smaller entrance that is like the stairway. So like the main entrance, like would you take her basically to the main entrance of the evocation tower? Or are you just thinking under the arch, like as if it's under an overhang?
Yeah, like sitting here underneath just like underneath the overhang of the arch, without blocking the entrance away to the. If you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Uh, you guys got the description. You're like walking under another hallway, kind of separating like the main hall and then like the stairs, like in the further part, like all of these other towers.
Yep.
And then this one's got like a bunch of burns from a lot of different spell work, like kind of practicing cantrips around the base of it. And then you can see that there's a couple of doors that lead into the actual main hall, like double doors, whereas there's like basically a single door that leads like into the actual stairway. If you enter into the main hall, the doors are unlocked, but you can open them if you would like. Inside of the main hall, you would see a bunch of floating red orbs that are just kind of like basically holding relatively still positions, but you can see almost little like differences in like the cadence of how fast they're bouncing. Some of them are holding a little bit steadier, others drift a little bit more one way or the other, but they're mostly holding the same position. The hall's kind of filled with a bunch of red light. You can see that there's a large kind of central apparatus. Let me get an intelligence roll from you, each of you. So Galeria would recognize at least somewhat kind of the shape of this little structure. When you all first walked into this place, she saw them somewhere around that entryway area where you all crossed the actual ice. She doesn't remember exactly where, but that's kind of her like memory is telling her like towards where you walked onto Ythryn. But while you guys are kind of looking up and down this hall, I think you're looking at it from the north, kind of walking into it. You can see that there's kind of like almost like a pitchfork in the center. There's bleachers to each side that run almost the entire length of this place. And then you can see that there's a couple of sponsons and another set of doors. So really, I shouldn't have the bottom half revealed for you. But it seems to be some sort of a large like practice hall of sorts.
Galeria will turn to Finn and ask, what do you suppose this is? Looks it looks almost like a small arena, but for only, well, a few people. Why is that? What are you supposed to say?
Suppose they may use it to train their spell work.
We get a couple of perceptions from you all as you're looking around here. So about the same time, each of you will spot one, and then the other spots the other of these two things. Who has the? I feel like you both might be the same here. As you're kind of looking around, you're gonna spot like around the actual like walls of most of this place. There's like athletic pictograms, kind of depicting little different things. Some areas, like outside of the actual stadium, you might see like actual like paintings that seem to be like murals in the stone. Other ones are like actual, almost like kind of comic strip style, where it seems to be like, say, a 3-inch little thing like that decorates just like the like stone rim around like waist height. So it's almost like trim to have like these like almost athletic strips kind of going around this place, but you can see that this is indeed some sort of a sport. You can see signs that these people are almost like holding lightning, and they seem to be kind of like throwing lightning around this stadium. Um, and then the other of you can see that much of this place ahead of you has like ice that kind of covers most of the stadium's floor, and that there's broken glass with kind of like metallic lids and metallic bases that seem to litter this place as well. So much of this floor seems to have something broken onto it. And the remains of it are these cylinders that seem to be just, whatever capped off, like the actual glass is now shattered. So as you all are just kind of noticing these things around the room, are you going to venture in to look like at these things closer? Are you just going to walk for the stairs and go up to the next level? What kind of thoughts do you all have when you see this?
Yeah, I think Ben would move up to inspect this apparatus in the middle a little more closely, taking care not to come inside what I think the radius of the arms. It looks like some kind of like whirligig kind of thing, yeah?
Got it. So you're like expecting it to spin, so you're kind of like trying to stay outside of its like radius.
Correct.
And Galeria is gonna go up to the orbs and inspect the orbs that are around the room.
So as you all step into this room, those different orbs are going to almost like snap to a position. Most of them are vaguely where they were, but their like steadiness becomes quite apparent as a few of them only move a few inches. Some of them move a few feet, and some of them don't move at all. But once they actually snap to this position, they hold perfectly stable. There is no longer any like bobble to them, any like moving to the side, anything like that. They are holding to a particular point in this room. And you can see as they get a little bit brighter, and now they seem to maybe be pulsating a little bit brighter. This is pretty much as you step into the actual room itself. So going near those, you could roll an investigation for me with Galeria, and then let's go for the same from Fen as you kind of get about like 15 or so feet away from that thing. My bad. I'm actually trying to find something here. Um, did not work out. Let me get a dexterity saving throw from you, Fen. Do you have evasion?
Yes.
So when you approach this thing, you're kind of like looking at that like way that it would whirl around as if it were going to spin at you. And you kind of get close enough and you kind of start to like sense, and this is very much like your attunement to your key, as you can kind of feel like a pulsation of power. And I'm going to drop you just to kind of show. So you just kind of feel like an actual pulsation of power, and you kind of just like hold off, and you're able to just like very slowly kind of like reaching your palm forward. You can actually feel this thing is beginning to build a charge, and you can kind of like feel this point where any closer, and you can get it to strike out at you with like some sort of lightning is basically building like this like link between you and this thing ahead of you. Do you back off?
Yes.
Gotcha. So you now understand on some level that thing is channeling lightning through it.
Guess we'll take the stairs up to the second level.
Gotcha. So you can kind of step back out and move back into one of those side alcoves where you guys can find the actual like center or the stairs that lead up. Uh, like pretty much all of these towers, there's a vague number of like levels kind of leading up them. I think most of them probably are meant to have like 4 or 5, but you have like a certain sense of you are kind of traveling. Let's see. Do you guys like cross over to the south side, or you just go from the north? If you walked in at the north before,
Well, I would say we will investigate the whole room, staying clear of the device in the center of the room.
all right, gotcha. While you are investigating the room and kind of giving yourself a berth around this, um, when you go to walk towards the bleachers, Sven, are you going to the east or to the west, like right or left?
I would go to the west.
So over to here, basically. So
Yeah.
when you get away from this thing and you're kind of moving towards the bleachers, you're going to bump into just an invisible something that is stopping you from moving. And it might be over here, but basically about a foot or two in front of these bleachers, you can't like move beyond.
And I would not. I wouldn't be able to squeeze through without the charge up. Correct.
Yeah, I think you were perceptive enough and dexterous enough that you could definitely tell that like these two things intersect. That about the distance that this thing can strike out at you is roughly about where you cannot like physically move through.
Well, then I guess it's check the northern stairs. It is.
So you were saying though you investigate this room. Do you like investigate how far that like inability to push through goes? Like, do you follow with your hand along that like invisible barrier?
Yeah, I guess I'd do that while I was going north.
So when you get to the end of these actual um, bleachers, that wall is also ends. And basically, the ends of this room, you could walk beyond it. Do you want to now walk south?
Yeah.
And you could find that as you walk south along that side, it's perfectly open. And you can run your hand along that barrier that's kind of blocking off this room from you.
Okay. Let's take that all the way down to the southern part of the room.
Yeah. So you can basically see that also among the things, this place is protected inside and out. So theoretically, the game can happen and you guys can watch from safety. So yeah, if you all head down and through uh, this level, you'll probably head up 4, 5 staircases before you are going to, and each time it kind of like cuts across to the other side, but you are going to eventually come up to the top where you're inside of a small room. And there's more of these like glowing orbs that are kind of lighting the actual area. Also, these are kind of holding their actual place. Um, you can see at the far end of a long room with a long red carpet in the center, you can see that there is a desk with like papers and things kind of sitting on it. Two comfortable, kind of big plush red chairs. And I believe there is a robed wizard body. No, my bad. There's a painting of a wizard that you would have seen in some of the murals downstairs. And this is like a very life realistic, like a 5 foot tall, large painting that hangs from the wall. And you can see that this likeness of this wizard you had seen down below seems to be his office. I don't believe you have a name for it yet. I said that wrong. I said a desk. This is a display case. And you can see at the opposite end of this room, there are two of those same hands that just kind of are hovering there.
Door is like not enough of hands. Kind of just tries to inspect from a distance to see if she can get a look at what's inside the display case. See if she can see what all is in that.
You can roll a perception check, but it's pretty clearly trophies. Now, how shiny and golden they seem might be a different story. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of shiny trophies in there. To be able to know whether they're just like a cheap polished or a really fine gold, it's hard to tell from this distance.
So Galeria would actually take a step closer just to see if she gets a reaction out of the hands.
All right, so assuming you guys are kind of in that outer hallway, just kind of at the doors right now, you're going to step inside of the room.
Yes.
Watch out for the rug.
Galeria, upon hearing this, stops. She kind of just takes her sword and just stabs the rug. Just to make sure. She just stabbed it a couple times. Did anything happen? Did it bleed? Did it come to life?
So as soon as you step into the room and stab out at the rug, these two hands are going to fly from the display case towards you, and I'll have you guys roll initiative.
She really has a +0 on her initiative.
Oh, we don't even have a Geb token. Geb token. Why is Ged so forgotten?
We just never really hold him in the service, I don't think. And we didn't rest foolishly, so Ben is still bloodied.
Alrighty. I created an actual token for Ged. In the long run, it doesn't matter too much. But if you pick out like what he looks like at some point, you can drop that in. I'm gonna give Alexis access to Dorian for right now, and we'll throw him into this mix. Three. And the first attack is going to go to Galeria. Let's see. I think this one's going to smack into you. 23 hits. I don't actually have any cheat sheet for Galeria right now. Assuming 23 hits, it should. Ooh, it's going to deal 19 force damage to you. And then it's going to go to Fen.
It's just the one. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I started to populate all of these maps, but I didn't always look to see where they were. So I hid these things. I didn't actually think they were explicitly standing in front of the display case, but apparently they were.
So Fenn is going to move in.
So when you move in to the room, you are going to hear. Damn it! I fucking lost where this one I had it saved. The duelist, you handsome devil. Where's your trophy? The next big tournament is 667.218 days ago. Down to the Chain Lightning Stadium and bring it home where it belongs. So, you've got one of these hands directly next to you, another one, probably another 30 feet ahead of you.
Yeah,
What would Fenn like to do?
I'm going to finish moving over here. And I'm going to attack.
I bet these things are large anyway, so
Longsword.
you also don't struggle to move past them at all.
That'll hit, correct?
Yep, solid hit with the longsword.
I'm going to add. I'm going to add stunning strike to this one and see what happens.
It will. It will continue to move. I think for what it's worth, in a similar way to Velixis was able to sense that they were adept at dodging her actual strikes, you can also feel as you try to apply ki to this thing. It's not quite living, but it almost has an interaction with ki in the weave. So it's kind of weird, but it's something that you can affect it. It's also deft at not being touched like that. Second strike will miss.
And I'll do flurry of blows for 2 more unarmed strikes.
I think one more roll. Yeah, so the sword's going to hit. The unarmed strikes are all going to come up shy, as you're just not grasping at this thing with those strikes.
And that'll activate agile parry and end the turn.
So you can have Ged move in. Do you just want him inside?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really
You
matter.
should be able to move that. And then 2 strikes from him.
Oh, 2 misses.
Yeah. Roll 2d8 just in case, because I feel like that first one might be a hit. I feel like they might get increased, and I just want to look it up when it's about to not be my turn. But I'm going to go right between here. This next one is going to go after Ged. 16, I feel like that is below his AC, should miss, and it would go to Galeria. And again, you'll have Dorian following you.
Alrighty. So Galeria, seeing that Finn is rushing in, going in, attacking, and it's bloody, she's actually going to step through this door immediately and reach her hand out towards Finn and hit him with a cure wounds. I'm sad it was so low.
Who was that for?
For Finn.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And I'm sorry, that's 14, or how much is that? 18? 14?
For right now, I believe that's just straight. That should be correct. I did not actually see what subclass you went with yet.
Oh, she is a cleric, paladin. The paladin is Oath of Ancients, and the cleric is War Priest.
So did you get that card from Dorian? He can basically move in, make 2 attacks, and then you've got his damage is a little bit different. I think he can actually make 3 attacks technically.
Okay, yeah, I see it. I got it. So it says military weapon +6 to hit, reach 5 1 target, hit 1d8, piercing bonus action +6 to hit, 1 target. So it looks like 2. I could be reading it wrong, but yeah, it looks like 2. 2 attacks, the main one, and then a bonus action attack.
Extra attack though at level 5 is why I was saying that. So you can move up with him if you'd like. You can, like, the hand doesn't actually impede movement until it's actually grappling you, so you can move through that however you would like, and then you can make those attacks. Same idea. You could make it all the way to the other side, or you can attack the one others have already attacked.
I cannot move his token, but I am going to move him in the. I do want to move him into the room on the other side, and I am going to have him attack that hand. 1d8, so d8, and then I'm gonna do the bonus action to attack it again for another d8.
Yeah, just start with. You can just do 3d20 here. The third one will be the side hand, which I don't even know if it's different. Just no plus modifier on the damage, right?
The first attack says 1d8 +4 for piercing. The second one, no plus for modifier.
Gotcha. That's what this. So the 13. That's actually what I was trying to look up, and I got nowhere with it. So roll, what is that? 2d8, and it'll be a total of +4. And then roll another d8. Yeah. So let's assume that they've got a +8 right now. So that other 13 should have hit from yours, Fen. Which would do that. You'd roll the 10, but it's another 12. And then that one will hit for another 8, so it's another 20 total damage. You guys can already see now, like, as the magic is starting to fail, this hand is effectively coming apart and is mortally wounded. After Dorian moves in, if that's cool with where you wanted to place him, that's where I just put him because you said the other part of the room. The next hand coming from beyond is going for Fen and going to strike out for an 18 is a miss, and then it's going to go to you, Fen.
I'm going to lash out with an unarmed strike to the mortally wounded one.
So that is unarmed.
Correct.
And then are you doing another 3 to the full health one?
Well, I got to see. I might add Death Strike to. If the first one misses, I might strike again.
Gotcha. That's kind of what I meant. Like on some level, I want your attack. Oh, I guess you can actually watch how they're going. Yeah, that's fine. You can roll the die first.
And I'm going to follow that up with a longsword attack, and then I'm going to do flurry of blows on the other one.
Gotcha. So the longsword's going to be against the same one, and then you're going to do, and then these would be against the new one.
Right.
So yeah, all of your your strikes with your hand are going to come up shy as you're kind of like reaching out into these creatures. But with the first strike out, you are able to get your slash across with your sword, where you do kind of grasp at this thing. And as you cut through its strands, it's going to start to kind of like linger on your blade before, in a similar way, starting to dissipate before you lose sight of that hand. It will disappear with the ether, and the second strikes against the other one are going to come up short. What would you like to do with Ged, who is now like not standing next to one of these?
So he's going to move up and do his 2 attacks.
So 4d8 plus 2. And he got you back with the finally.
Yeah, double one. No.
On total of 12. And then
I'm going to bonus action challenge.
gotcha. Feel like the one that you just killed was the one that's went after. I'm trying to think if I lost track of them because I did not add them to initiative. Galeria, what would you like to do?
Let's see here.
Are you rolling something?
No, sorry, I was looking for sorry, I was looking for the right skill. I knew it was up here. She's going to cast Sacred Flame.
What's your 15? It's going to fail. It will take the full. Oh, wait, it's got advantage. It's going to pass and take no damage. You want to use your bonus action? You can cast like your sacred weapon. Got a few different probably bonus action spells that you might have other than that. Or you can just move on to Dorian.
Oh shoot, I didn't notice I had those bonus actions. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna actually use I'm gonna use spiritual weapon for my bonus action.
What kind of weapon does Galeria summon as her spiritual weapon?
A great sword.
What'd you roll? I'm like uploading on a different page.
Oh, the spiritual weapon.
No, what was the actual roll?
Oh, it says 11 and 8 for the
All
damage.
right, that'll miss from it.
Got it.
So it's attacking the next person. Initiative is going to be Fen.
Wait, isn't it
Should
Dorian?
hit with a 20. No, it's always you guys. He just attacked with Dorian. When it goes to his turn, when it goes to the hand's turn, I'm like attacking with the hand. It's going to do 30 damage to Fen. And it's just striking out at you. You guys can basically, it'll go to Fen next. Do you want to do like 3 or 4 attacks into that?
I am going to. Yeah, I'm going to do 4, and I'm going to stick a death strike in if I hit.
Gotcha. I feel like that's 3, but how many 20s have you gotten?
Say again?
I feel like I heard 3 rolls there, but did you get 20 with any of them?
Yeah, I got the second unarmed strike's a natural 20.
All right, word. Did it roll the crit already for that one?
Yep.
Did you
And
hit
I'm
with the
gonna.
first strike?
Yeah.
Or did
So
you hit with the first one before that?
no, the long sword misses. The unarmed strike is the second one, and I'm going to add the death strike to that for another 2d6.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was getting at. Is did you miss before your crit? So yeah, so that's a 14, and then you've got one more d6, 17, 21, and then 29 and 39. Yeah, that's going to 49. It's 1 shy with a crit. Yeah, that's going to eviscerate the creature, and it too will dissipate. Rashad, when you go to summon it in the future, the spiritual weapon will be underneath spell.
All right.
I guess I should name it yours because there's another one there. I'm not sure whose that is.
I feel like we had someone else at one point that could summon. Actually, wait, no, Finn, can't you summon a spiritual weapon as well? Or no?
No.
I feel like we had someone
I
that.
think it was from Hawaii. I can't think of his name. I was trying to say it earlier today. It's a J, I feel like.
Was it Johan?
Johan, yep.
Johan the Beheaded?
I mean, that was an awesome card to play. I feel like it was one of those things where there's very little to understand about that culture until you guys do exactly what you were doing. And it just so happened the first people he came up to were the ones who essentially hate him. I don't. There's little bits about his like backstory that he was like sacrificed to Winter, but I feel like it's a very solid way to play it. It was just who knows.
Speaking of backstories, I will get you Galeria's backstory before the session next week.
Yeah, I always feel like backstory is one of the biggest minimal things that you need. Minimize what you need to create a backstory. I would rather always see you creating an ad-libbing backstory with your party members together. So the minimum it takes you to have it, solid. But yeah, you can definitely spitball stuff across me anytime with stuff like that because it should be like a back and forth mutual creativity. You kind of have ideas, and I'll let you know how everything's working out. But yeah, as Fen kind of punches through that creature for the final time there, bam, get your sword out there as the creature dissipates. Dorian is the one who's kind of back up to where that wizard is painted on the wall. You've got that display case at the end of the actual hallway here. Some of you have already stepped on the rug. Galeri already put a solid hole into it. I assume she's got a longsword. Um, you guys can progress through this little room as you would like.
Gloria will definitely, well, Gloria's going to actually cast enough cure wounds, give Finn a little bit more health.
Yeah, I'm down to bloody the end.
Gotcha. So 13 more.
Still under half.
He's still looking bloody. Do you drop any more healing into him? Otherwise, are you still at the point where you don't have all your spells selected?
Yeah, I still got a few more spells that I can prepare. Let me see here.
So my kind of end game in asking that is I feel like this is nearing a solid place to actually stop for you guys. And this is potentially a place where you guys would want to rest as well.
Agreed.
But it's also getting kind of towards the end of things. So I think the idea that I'm going to put before you here is that you guys can walk up to the trophy case. You cannot reach inside. There is some sort of field that is blocking you from reaching inside. You cannot touch any of the trophies inside of there, but you can indeed read a small brass placard. I believe when I say you can indeed, I mean that when Brannick takes the time to ritually cast the spell, you guys can read. Because I think the language is going to become a problem. So I think we'll start with the reading of that once Justin comes back. But you guys can at least, I think, recognize Fen speaking like the two root languages. You can at least recognize that that placard starts with the word fifth. So you can assume that you guys have the fifth thing that you need to do in the ritual. You just don't yet know what that is. And I think that's kind of where we'll leave it off to you guys.